Welcome to Thoughts on Tech, powered by Eastern Communications. This series aims to raise awareness and promote inclusivity in ICT here in the Philippines.
How we can balance innovation and regulation. We need to ensure that emerging technologies are safe to use, from deployment, design to implementation.
Security is not a one-time thing that you implement or you put into place. It's a constantly evolving thing. The best practice is always keep on improving, keep on finding the loopholes.
During the pandemic, a lot of the things that really worry the overall business is that what's going to happen to our brick and mortar internet cafes, right? One of the things that we did see through technology is our ability to continuously still have these tournaments, but on an online platform.
Gone are the days that cybersecurity is only for big enterprises. Those who can't afford, let's make them affordable, and we're giving them the opportunity to protect themselves as well.
My name is Dani Laurel, and I'm thrilled to be your host in this unique podcast series. Welcome to Thoughts on Tech, powered by Eastern Communications. My name is Dani Laurel, and I am thrilled to be your host in this unique podcast series. This series aims to promote awareness and ICT inclusivity in the Philippines. In a more connected and technology-focused world, the digital divide is a pressing issue. How can we ensure equity here in the Philippines with all the geographical challenges? Let's discuss that and more with our guest, Edsel Paglinawan, Eastern Communications' Vice President and Head of Product and Innovation. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Danny. Good day.
Now, before we dive into a very pressing and important topic, tell us more about yourself and, of course, your role within Eastern Communications. What are you responsible at this moment?
Currently heading the product and innovation team of Eastern Communications for the past 5 years. Prior to joining Eastern, I do have some experience from the technology provider side, doing network operations, all the technical stuff. Then moving to sales and marketing and product management afterwards. Then sometime early 2012, I decided to join the telco, the operator business. And that's how my career progressed when I landed as the product and innovation head of Eastern Communications sometime in late 2017. We decided it was a deliberate effort for Eastern Communications to set up and build the team of product and innovation, as we've been focusing for the past century more on the connectivity efforts only and in providing internet and all the connectivity solutions of the Philippine different industries. But towards the end of 2017, 2018, we realized that our customers, not existing, but even the untapped market, are even clamoring for more solutions other than internet, lease line, and all the other connectivity solutions. And hence, boom, we started all our efforts towards ICT.
So yours is beyond internet.
Correct.
Basically, that's your role. Okay, you mentioned that you're looking at product and innovations, and the topic, of course, of the podcast is the digital divide, no? Where are we in the Philippines right now? You've been in this sector, or at least in technology space, for more than 2 decades, if I'm not mistaken. How has the evolution been? Is there more equity, or because of the pandemic and the rapid pace of technological advancement, has the divide gotten greater?
I guess we have to talk about statistics. Sometime in 2019, there was this survey or this statistics saying that only around 70 to 18% of the households are internet connected. When pandemic hit us, boom, 2022, we're already around between 75 to 80%.
Majority.
And that is really something which we should be able to celebrate already.
Of course.
But of course, we don't talk about the price. Price is something different. It's just the access of the individuals, access of the people, access to the households, and even the SMEs to internet connectivity.
Okay, so to some households, you mean that they can access it, but it's very expensive. And to others, it's just, part of their budget, no?
Correct. That's a very hot topic. Every time we talk about internet price, internet connectivity in so many forums, the topic about the accessibility and the affordability of internet always comes into the discussion in the Philippines.
And let's talk about that impact. How do you measure that? How do you say that life has gotten better in the Philippines, particularly because now we have, I don't know, you mentioned 70%. Now we have 70% internet access. Maybe not necessarily penetration, but just access to internet is there. Where do we see it? What metrics are you looking at to say, okay, this has improved?
The access to internet connectivity and ICT solutions, something which is very evident happening around. And with all the efforts that we've been seeing, it's not just the program, but the proper execution of both the government and the private entities are really making this happen. We have seen the digital inclusion among the different Filipinos. All of these are not only because of the ICT, but basic access to the internet. Education, for example. And during pandemic, it breaks my heart to see my tita and my titos and my friends back in Mindoro, how they were able to handle education during the lockdown, right?
Yeah.
And there was this campaign of doing this online. But who's going to be online in my hometown? It's a Class C municipality in our hometown. So, as I mentioned, it really breaks my heart to see.
That's where you saw the inequity.
Exactly.
That's where immediately you see how come other people can continue as usual and then the others are so disrupted.
Exactly. And luckily, we with all the efforts of the DepEd, it's not 100% perfect, or it's not perfect yet. But I guess we're getting there. I mean, the lessons that we've had.
Now, you mentioned, this is so close to your heart, and you're doing advocacy work. You are in the private sector. Maybe you can enlighten our viewers here on to what extent does the private sector need to jump in this issue of the digital divide and inequity, and to what extent is that the government's role, diba, to address all of these issues?
Okay, first and foremost, I appreciate all the efforts of the government, the DACT, and all the agencies supporting private sector in uplifting the lives of our people through information and communications technology. Where do we play our part?
Mm-hmm.
Let me use this opportunity to advise you about my advocacy of democratizing technology
Go
in
ahead.
the Philippines. Gone are the days that cybersecurity is only for big enterprises. Gone are the days that internet is only for big enterprises. Gone are the days that, what else? Bigger network infrastructure or cloud computing is only for big enterprises. Back then, who can afford cybersecurity?
Now it's trickled down.
It's trickled down.
I need cybersecurity.
And
I need cloud services.
exactly that's the point. There was even a survey from one of the technology providers also during pandemic that of the number of attacks, out of 100% of all the attacks, 70 to 80% of the attacks are targeted towards the vulnerable SMEs.
Wow.
Who don't have the capability, but who can afford anti-DDoS protection, who can afford building big, firewall against all the attackers. Big enterprises. But what are we going to do with the small and medium enterprises, right?
Interesting, yeah.
And that's something which,
Wait a second.
Exactly.
And 99.6% of businesses in this country are SMEs.
And the efforts and the driving efforts now of Eastern Communications really to target that segment of the industry. Those who can't afford, let's make them affordable. Those who don't have the competency, we'll do that for them.
So the digital divide, at least from your point of view, is business digital divide, diba? Yeah. I mean, we've gone from the education during the pandemic of the young children towards even the big and small enterprises are getting further and further apart. But you're right. So what's the main low-hanging fruit that needs to be tackled here? Like, how can SMEs access the same level? Can they access the same level of cybersecurity? Can they afford the same level of innovation?
With the strategies that we've been doing, we believe they are, because we've been reaping the fruits of all our efforts in the past 2 years. Not only for the cybersecurity, our product structure or our product is structured such that we have connectivity, we have network infrastructure solutions, we have cybersecurity, we have cloud and data center, and we have the managed services, professional services, in order for us to render these services on their behalf. And so far for the SMEs, business applications, for example, not only cybersecurity, business applications, not everybody can afford ERP system.
Yeah.
The big inventory management system, the big HR systems, accounting systems. So that's part of our effort to make them democratized. You don't necessarily have to do the, pen and paper work in your accounting work
anymore. Yeah.
These are the applications hosted in the Eastern Cloud that you can just simply do the subscriptions at affordable level.
How do you make it affordable?
It's a mass deployment.
And you're still making money out of this cheaper.
We have to.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah.
It's like the talk about sustainability, right? We talk about the business, and yet we talk about what good thing we can do for others and for the planet. I cannot give something I don't have. So I have to take care of the business, and at the same time, if I'm able to really create that big, impact among the lives of the people, among the different enterprises, I guess I'm able to fulfill.
Okay, so one part is the accounting system, inventory system, ERP. What else can they access through your platform?
Cloud solutions. We are proud to bring the public cloud in the Philippines, the first one to bring the public cloud in the Philippines. You must be hearing the big public clouds, the hyperscalers, who are located in Hong Kong, in Singapore, in Japan, in the
Data
US,
centers.
etc., right? And many applications, many software developers here in the Philippines are subscribing to these hyperscalers abroad. While these big clouds are part of the portfolio of Eastern Communications, we also realize that we have to address the sovereignty issue. The data must stay in the Philippines.
Right.
And
Okay.
many other enterprises, big enterprises, have been doing that already by building their own cloud.
Correct.
But how about the others, right? So instead, we bring the technology to the Philippines, we build our own cloud, and boom, these SMEs don't necessarily have to build their own big data centers anymore. Data centers are expensive. You need to have the capability. You need to have, all the facilities and the infrastructure in order to run the data center, aside from building your own servers and all the other appliances in there. And now it's also a democratization of a tier 3 or tier 4 like experience of a telco.
Let's take a step back because you mentioned data sovereignty. Why is that important? Why do we need to keep our data here, especially if there are other options to have it offshore?
Yeah, data sovereignty. I guess two things, though. Number one is, aside from us really protecting the data of our customers, our employees, our businesses, it's more of government compliance.
Okay.
Well,
that's the first thing. Regulation.
Regulation, right? And it's nice that Philippines and the Philippine government has adopted already measures, especially in Europe, about how much data can we actually store outside EU, or how much data can we actually store outside the Philippines. But second, also, I would like to emphasize not just the data sovereignty, but also making it more efficient and better customer experience if the cloud is hosted in the same country. Again, democratizing cloud this time. So you don't necessarily have to spend extra number of milliseconds in fetching the data from any other hyperscalers or any other servers outside the Philippines. Imagine if you are subscribing to a cloud hosted in Japan, so that's going to be what? Another 100 to 200 to 300 milliseconds. And if you are fetching a lot of data, imagine the impact of that in your experience here, right? In
It's
your
just more
internet
efficient.
experience. More
It's just
efficient.
nearer.
So we just have to consider about the local connectivity and cut short of the international connectivity.
And
in
that's
that sense.
existing now and
It is.
available to SMEs.
The good thing is, in 2019, we deployed the locally hosted cloud here in the Philippines, Eastern Cloud, without knowing the pandemic would hit us.
Interesting.
Without
There
knowing
already.
that there's going to be logistical problem during pandemic. And luckily, 2020, 2021, 2022, Eastern Cloud has become our hero product.
Great. And it's competitively priced.
Definitely. Performance-wise, business case-wise, definitely it's way better. But of course, we have different use cases. There are still some applications and use cases that are more for hyperscalers, and there are also some applications that we can actually, do
At the smaller level. Okay. What's really interesting for me, when I was reading up on Eastern Com, it's 145-year company. and it's focused on human connection as the general purpose of the company. How are you doing that in your role as head of product and innovation?
The bringing back of the human connection or using the human touch in the way we do business transcends from pre-selling to selling to post-sales. And one of the reasons why our customers love us wherever we are present is because of the service that we're providing the customers. As the head of product and innovation team, I want to capitalize on that love into something more meaningful for the business. And that's the reason why there's also a rapid campaign, a big campaign happening now within Eastern Communications about the inclusion of managed services in whatever product we are bringing
Interesting.
in. Yes, we do have internet. Internet seems to be a democratized technology already.
Just plug and play.
It's all about the price. My internet, the same as internet of everybody else. But what my internet makes different from all others, we can customize your routing. That's a human touch. We can do the 24/7 monitoring per every customer line as long as we have that managed connectivity. So we've developed these managed services stack that covers, the basic. We have internet or connectivity. Then we add more and more layers in that stack such that from connectivity, we make it managed connectivity and managed secure connectivity and managed ICT instead.
There you go.
And from the product side, that's where we are bringing in more human connectivity or human touch in our products and services.
So customization, it's a more nuanced world right now in technology. It's not one size fits all. No?
Exactly. It cannot be off the shelf anymore, especially in a very tough, competitive world.
And you were mentioning earlier, that of course you're present in different parts of the country, but are there specific focus areas geographically where you say, okay, here, this is where we need to go next. Here is where we need to harness the SME market in these particular areas. What's your footprint like?
Very, very timely. Since we have just completed our big project, which started off past few years, this is the Philippine Domestic Submarine Cable Network, one of the biggest, or actually the biggest and the longest submarine cable in the Philippines, domestic cable in the Philippines. And with that, we are able to align our presence in government's digital cities. So whatever the government is telling us where to go, that is the inspiration why we are now in almost all key CBDs nationwide.
Excellent. It's already there. No, it's put in place. And finally, before we let you go, I'm sure you've had a lot of great experiences. You said that your advocacy was really the SME market, and bridging the digital divide between the large companies and the smaller ones that didn't have the capabilities before or the resources to tap into the same types of technology. Any case studies, any success stories you can share with our audience today? Your favorite project that you've done where you could really see a bridge in the digital divide?
Thank you. I guess the healthcare and the retail industry down in Visayas and Mindanao were able to automate their processes. Aside from us connecting the different retail branches, we're able to introduce also ICT solutions, both on the business application side and on the cybersecurity side. So two major industries in there. It's a hospital, not necessarily an SME, but it's a hospital that's been running for years already. But come pandemic, we're able to support them in their digitalization efforts. We're able to make their connectivity even more resilient, and hence with the new footprint and with the redundancy that we have put in place in Visayas and in Mindanao, I do hope the incidents like in the likes of Odette, remember sometime in
the typhoon.
Yeah, the typhoon, right, won't happen again. When Visayas or Cebu in particular was disconnected from the rest of the country.
Okay, so great examples there, and those are sectors that definitely need our help when it comes to getting on track with the technology. Healthcare. What better way to showcase how important digitalization is and access to technology than that sector that we all need. Thank you so much for all of your insights.
Thank you so much, Danny.
Edsel Paglinawan, Eastern Communications' Vice President and Head of Product and Innovation.